In the dark of night, where the walls hide their secrets and shadows whisper in every corner, there the nightmare begins. Prepare for a horror that will take you beyond the boundaries of reality. On the western coast of a small village called Larin, there was a secluded beach surrounded by dark rocks and deep waters. This beach, known among the locals as the Beach of Spirits, was shrouded in horrifying tales of drowned souls that appeared at night, flooding the waves with their blood and haunting anyone who dared to approach, dragging them into the depths where a gruesome end awaited. On a pitch-black night, with no moon to light the sky, an old fisherman stood by the window of his wooden shack, gazing silently at the nearby beach. The air was heavy, thick with the smell of salt and decay, while the waves crashed against the rocks as if delivering an ominous warning. Suddenly, the silence was broken by a terrifying sound from the sea, a muffled cry, as if from tortured souls in the depths. The old man turned toward the sea in panic, whispering to himself with a trembling voice, "They've returned. Tonight they've returned again." At that very moment, the waves rose unnaturally high, as if the sea itself had awakened in fury. With every wave, blood poured onto the sand, leaving behind marks that looked like handprints searching for revenge. Timur, a young adventurous journalist, arrived at the village on a cloudy day, seeking the truth behind the chilling stories. He had read about the beach in online articles and decided to investigate the mystery himself. Upon arrival, he approached an abandoned wooden shack overlooking the beach, where a cold wind rustled through the surrounding trees. There, he met an old man named Colin, a weary fisherman whose face bore the marks of exhaustion and fear. Colin warned him, "Don't go near the beach after sunset. The angry spirits awaken at night, and you won't return alive if you hear their call." But Timur, dismissing the warnings, decided to stay by the beach. He was convinced the tales were nothing more than myths. As darkness fell, the beach began to change. The roar of the waves ceased, and an eerie silence took over. Timur sat on the sand, clutching his camera and flashlight. Suddenly, a strange sound broke the silence, a noise resembling weeping, coming from the direction of the water. The sound grew louder, slowly forming into words. Come to us. Don't leave me here." Raising his flashlight, Timur shone it toward the sea. He saw the water moving unnaturally, as if something was trying to emerge. Then, ghostly shapes began to appear beneath the surface, distorted faces and bodies covered in blood. He tried convincing himself that it was all an illusion, but suddenly, a pale white hand emerged from the water, unnaturally long, crawling toward the sand as if searching for something to grasp. As the terror grew, Timur began hearing other voices, whispers coming from the sand itself. The whispers were fragmented, but carried an undeniable threat. "There's no escape. The end is here." He felt something clutch his leg, and when he looked down, he saw a skeletal hand rising from the sand, gripping his ankle tightly. He screamed, struggling to free himself, but the sand moved like a swamp, threatening to swallow him whole. With great effort, Timur managed to break free and run back to the shack. But he wasn't the same. His eyes were filled with fear, and his body trembled. Colin tried to calm him down, but he muttered hoarsely, "I saw them. They're real. The blood, it was real." Despite what had happened, Timur resolved to return to the beach, driven by his desire to document the truth. This time, he brought advanced recording equipment and simple weapons for protection. At midnight, the beach stirred again. He heard the sound of screams coming from the sea, as if hundreds of people were in agony. Ghostly sailors emerged from the water, their bodies disfigured and their eyes void of life. They crawled toward the shore, staining the sand with blood. Timur tried to run, but his feet felt rooted to the ground. From afar, he saw a massive figure rising from the sea, a cursed pirate captain. His body was grotesquely deformed, with chains wrapped around his neck and arms. The figure bellowed in a thunderous voice, "You've come to our land. You will stay here forever." Timur attempted to use his flashlight to repel the ghosts, but they were unaffected. The spirits closed in on him from all sides, and one leaped at him, trying to strangle him. "You will become one of us. You will be tormented forever." At that moment, the tide rose, turning the waves into blood. The waters engulfed him, dragging him with an unstoppable force into the depths. His final sight was the dozens of blood-stained hands pulling him down, his screams swallowed by the roaring sea. The next morning, the locals found Timur's scattered equipment on the beach, but he had vanished entirely. Strange drag marks on the sand led to the sea, where the waves were still red as blood. Since that day, Timur's voice joined the chorus of the spirits, echoing through the night to warn new visitors. Stay away. Escape is impossible. The beach of drowned souls grew even darker and more terrifying, as the voices multiplied and the blood in the sea increased, turning the beach into an eternal stage for suffering and torment.